Every year, on February 14th, lovers come together to celebrate their love on a Christian festival called Valentine's Day. On this day, people commemorate their love with gifts such as flowers, chocolate sweets, and greeting cards. This is such a special occasion for people that people prepare for it days, even weeks in advance. So where did this so-called Christian holiday come from? Well, like the other so-called Christian holidays, Valentine's Day has paganism written all over it. Even though its name came from a Christian martyr named Saint Valentine. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, this Saint Valentine was martyred around 270 AD by Roman Emperor Claudius II Gothicus. According to the story, this Saint Valentine was put in prison for performing marriage ceremonies for soldiers who were prohibited to marry, and for also ministering to Christians who were being persecuted by the Roman Empire. The story goes, while Saint Valentine was incarcerated, he healed, befriended, and fell in love with the jailer's daughter. And right before his execution, in which he was beheaded, he wrote a farewell letter to the jailer's daughter saying, "From your Valentine." Now, this is what people think that Valentine's Day came from, this particular event, but that is just not true. It actually comes from a pagan Roman festival called Lupercalia, which is a festival of fertility and purification. This is one of the secrets that the Roman Catholic Church held back from the public at large. Not only did the Catholic Church fail to tell the people the truth about good old Valentine's Day, they forgot to mention that in ancient times, and even today in the occult world, the month of February is revered as a month of love magic and ancient pagan sexual rituals.
Valentine's Day actually falls on the eve of Lupercalia on February 14th. In ancient Rome, this day was used to pair couples for the duration of the Lupercalia festival using a lottery-type system. This day gave reverence to the queen of the gods and patroness of marriage, Juno. On this 14th day of February, young girls' names were written on pieces of paper and placed in a jar. Boys would then pick the name of a girl that they are going to be partnered with for the rest of the festival. It should be no surprise that the Roman Catholic Church substituted these girls' names with names of dead saints, trying to hide the lustful and pagan practice. Lupercalia. Lupercalia is considered one of the most ancient festivals of the ancient pagan Roman festivals. This day was used to honor and pay homage to the god of fertility, Lupercus. This next excerpt comes from Dr. Leo Rukaby, the ancient pagan festival of Luperus, Roman god of fertility. The festival was held on 15th of February in the Lupercal, where Romulus and Remus were said to have been nurtured by the she-wolf. The place contained an altar and a grove sacred to the god Lupercus. Here the Luperci assembled on the day of the Lupercalia and sacrificed goats and dogs, animals remarkable for their strong sexual instinct, and thus most appropriate sacrifices to the god of fertility.
So there it is. Lupercalia starts off with animal sacrifice of goats and dogs in the sacred grotto of the she-wolf. After this, young men would run around on the streets, whipping and flagellating women and crops with the flayed hide of a goat to promote fertility. This pagan festival was celebrated up until between 491 through 518 CE, which was during the reign of Anastasius I. Now, in 498 CE, near the end of the 5th century, Pope Galsius changed the eve of Lupercalia to Valentine's Day to honor a dead saint.
Today, Cupid is this babyish, childlike cherub that shoots people with arrows so that they will fall in love. The truth is that Cupid has a dark and checkered past. Cupid's name in ancient Rome was Eros, the god of love, before his transformation to Cupid. Eros was a dark and lustful being. Eros was sent by his mother Venus to kill a princess by the name of Psyche, which was immortal with great beauty, because Venus was jealous of her beauty. To make a long story short, being wounded by his own weapon, Eros fell in love with Psyche. Psyche's sisters were jealous and caused Psyche to betray the trust of her lover Eros, because he wore a mask and she did not know how he truly looked. When Psyche saw that Eros was sleeping, she tried to see what he looked like. Eros then woke up and was heartbroken because Psyche did not trust him. They split up, and when Psyche realized that she messed up, she approached Venus for help. Venus gave her 4 tasks to complete, which was sorting out a huge pile of seeds, retrieving the golden fleece, filling a flask from the waters that fill the river Styx, and returning from the underworld with a box of beauty ointment, Proserpina, in which Psyche did complete with the help of a god. Psyche then became immortal to be with Eros, aka Cupid, forever.
Juno was the daughter of Saturn and sister wife of Jupiter, the chief god. She was also the mother of Mars and Vulcan. Juno was chief goddess in which watched over all matters of women, including marriage, pregnancy, and childbirth. The story goes that Juno was jealous of Jupiter because he gave birth to Minerva from his own head. Juno was given an herb by Flora, in which caused her to give birth to Mars. Juno is identified with Hera, the wife of the Greek god Zeus. With Jupiter and Minerva, she was a member of the Capitoline triad of deities, traditionally introduced by Etruscan king. Even to this day, she still has a cult of devout women followers. This is where the month of June gets its name from.
Faunus is the Roman god of the woodland and protector of herds and crops. He is also known as the Greek god Pan. He is half man and half goat. He was also known as Lupercalia, which means he who wards off the wolf. Faunus was the grandson of Saturn. He also revealed the future in dreams and voices that were communicated to those who came to sleep in his precincts, lying on the fleeces of sacrificed lambs. There were 2 pagan festivals that honored him, in which both were named Faunalia. The first festival was celebrated on February 13th in the temple of Faunus on the island in the Tiber River. The other festival was celebrated on December 5th.
This she-wolf is recognized as the one who hand-suckled the founders of Rome, Romulus and Remus, when they were orphaned infants, in a cave at the foot of the Palatine. This she-wolf rescued Romulus and Remus after they were thrown into the Tiber River by order of their grandfather Numitor's brother Amulus, after Amulus overthrew Numitor. A herdsman by the name of Faustulus eventually found the twins and raised them.
BibleStudy.org. It is about time we examine these customs of the pagans, now falsely labeled Christian. It is time we quit this Roman and Babylonian foolishness, this idolatry, and get back to the faith of Christ delivered once for all time. Let's stop teaching our children these pagan customs in memory of Baal, the sun god, the original Saint Valentine, and teach them instead what the Bible really says. The reality of the truth is we are celebrating evil, demonic, ritualistic holidays that are truly not edifying to our soul. The Most High never prescribed us to celebrate these days. As a matter of fact, He forbade us to honor any days outside of His appointed days and annual feast. It doesn't matter what Christian guise it is given. It is deeply rooted in pagan practices and pagan worship. Why go broke trying to celebrate a holiday that is made up? That doesn't make good sense. Invest in what is in the Kodesh scriptures and you can't go wrong.